Happy Saturday evening. I'm going to do a quick weather update because we got a lot going on. First, let's do a recap on this one that's just pulling out of here today. Pretty much everybody got the accumulation wrong, including me. But what was correct is it was snow. Radar, pretty much for the duration of the event, showed snow falling. And what was happening is the temperature was just a little too mild at ground level to allow the snow to hold together. So it was rain, wet snow, and then this morning turned all snow, but it was still just nowhere near cool enough at ground level to accumulate into anything. West of us got a little bit, but virtually everywhere, I think the accumulation numbers were below what were forecast. So the good news is, I think the St. Patrick's Day parade came off today with maybe a little bit of winds and light snow early, but hopefully it was a big success. I know there was concern about the weather, so hopefully the weather got out of here early enough. But this is the map, and then if you look up here, hopefully my little pointer is working, pointing up toward the center of the map, kind of right below the date. That high pressure system I talked about this week that I thought might just be close enough to bring down enough cold air at the surface to allow the snow to hold together and accumulate. It just tracked a little farther north, and that's one of the reasons why we couldn't get the cold air down low. So that's that. So, but right now my attention is more toward this week. We've got a pretty significant storm coming in, and we're going to fast forward to Monday. And I'm sorry, there's going to be one slide here where an ad pops up because of the algorithm that they use. We'll start here. This is Monday. So actually, it's back up. So Monday afternoon, clouds are going to be coming in, thickening, lowering, and you're going to see this low. In fact, I'll back up one more slide. This low, which is over kind of the mid-Atlantic, southern mid-Atlantic states. It's going to, and you see there 1,000 millibars, which is like 29.25 inches of mercury. I'm just doing the conversion in my head, so if I'm a little off, I apologize. But we move forward here, and it starts to strengthen pretty quick. 999. This is 6 hours later, right off the coast, and then it's just going to move due north. Continues to strengthen, and we get a nice battery ad. And now here it is, and it's really. I think you're going to hear the term bombogenesis. It's a true nor'easter. They're going to be using all those fancy terms on TV and radio. But the storm's going to be strengthening rapidly. And you can see here, now this is Tuesday, 7 a.m. It's going to be east of us, but the storm's going to be strong enough. I always talk about how when these storms, these maps always show snow behind it. And normally it's like, don't give that any credence. It's not credible. The storm's not strong enough to bring the snow back, but this one is. So it'll bring, I'll use the word precipitation back behind it. You can see this map is showing it. I'm a little skeptical of what you're seeing in western New York and eastern Pennsylvania. I don't think it'll get back that far, but certainly Connecticut, southeastern New York, Long Island. So this storm is a concern. I always talk about atypical behavior of storms. When we get into a situation where it's doing something atypical, it usually means greater damage. When a storm moves in the wrong direction, when it sets up and just sits, and that's what this one's going to do. Is it's actually going to just sit for between 18 and 24 hours. I'm going to show you here in a minute. We start here Monday at 7 o'clock. It's out off of, let's call it the Delaware coast, southern Jersey, and then it moves north, and you can see it here right off the coast of Cape Cod. Now, low pressure systems, it's a counterclockwise rotation. So the winds are going to be coming in this scenario from the northeast, which is fairly typical, but then we jump into the next slide and we see that the storm sets up literally right over the Cape. And so anything west of it facing north is just going to flood. It's going to take significant wind damage. It's going to flood. And if we can get enough cold air in there, it's going to take a lot of snow, a lot of really, 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 really heavy snow. The one really interesting thing about this system is the long range maps were warning Boston like red alert, red alert, red alert days and days and days ago, probably 10 days ago. Maps were saying Boston, watch out, middle of the month. And that, those maps were correct. So credit to them. They really nailed this one. And you can see here 973 millibars, which is, again, doing the math in my head, about 28.75. I might be a hair low, but once you get into the 28s, it's a pretty pretty powerful storm. I am worried about anything that's facing north that has water. Parts of Boston, parts of just over the bridge of Cape Cod, just over the Sagamore Bridge, which is the northernmost bridge for you Cape Codders there. Um, just that's there's going to be significant flooding, erosion, beach erosion, that sort of thing, and wind damage. So the other thing that really worries me about the storm is look at the duration. We back up Tuesday 7 a.m. Okay, it's a little south and east, so maybe not quite as bad. But then we go Tuesday 1, Tuesday 7, Wednesday 1. So now we're 18 hours in. This is 6-hour increments I'm showing you on this Weather Street loop here. And this thing is just hanging over Cape Cod. I literally think Tuesday at 7 a.m., depending on the positioning of this, let me back up, might be better shown at Tuesday 1 p.m. is I literally think like the elbow of Cape Cod could be 50 degrees and high winds, and like 20 miles west could be 33 degrees and snow. I mean, it's really that crazy. I actually drove through one of these systems once several years ago, and it was 11 degrees here in West Hartford, and I got to Cape Cod and it was 43 or 45 degrees. And then coming back, same thing. The temperature just dropped 30 degrees as I got off Cape. So lots of concern with this one. Duration is one, and the atypical behavior of it is the other. Those are the two really, really big concerns. I'm worried about blackouts, pretty widespread. Tree damage, pretty widespread. The good news is it's early enough in the season. There's not a lot of foliage out yet. Otherwise, we'd have unbelievable damage. But we're a month away from that. And so, yeah, it's going to be a memorable storm. And then we move to Tuesday at 7, still sitting right over Cape Cod. So we're talking 18 hours to 24 hours of just sitting, and we're really talking to about 30 hours of impact from the storm. Then it starts to pull away. Wednesday 1 a.m. Just starts to drift a little bit east, and then Wednesday morning it starts to pull away. That high off to the west is going to nudge it out. I'm a little skeptical of the snow on the back end on Wednesday because it'll be far enough away. I don't think we're going to be seeing snow. But the one thing about this storm, I know a lot of local outlets right now are saying rain, snow mix. I just keep your eyes open on this one. This could surprise us. It's really that close. We do have a cold air source right here, that high with its clockwise rotation. Could bring down enough cold air. You just never know. I'm not worried about icing. I'm more worried about really wet, heavy snow, the type that I think they call it Widowmaker snow. Sorry to be inappropriate, but the type of snow you just don't want to shovel. Let the pros handle it with their heavy equipment. So that's it. I have spoken with the town. The town is totally on top of everything. They're watching this by minute. They're great. We're in great hands. Ronnie and I will probably pop on Monday and do a more detailed analysis. And if situation merits, we'll ask somebody from the town to jump on with us to talk about storm prep. But we are in good hands. And you guys can know that for sure. They'll be on top of this. So that's where we're at. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section, and hopefully we can navigate this and move on to some spring weather here in a few weeks.